Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Greg Cherry Show. I am, of course, the host with the most, Michael Philbin. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm really looking forward to today. Quizlemania X8 is today. Unfortunately, I'm not on it. Never forget the hashtag Cherry for Quizlemania because we are going to make it happen. I will annoy them to death if that's what I have to do. To just be like, hey, if we bring you on, will you shut up? Yeah, I'll shut up if you bring me on. I am a great badgerer. Ask my wife. Anyway, on today's show, we've got a couple things to discuss. And funny enough, wrestling trivia is one of them. We'll get into it, obviously, but there are multiple different wrestling trivia places that revolve around yours truly. And also one I'm getting introduced to, and we'll talk about that. What's trending now? You know the segment. You love the segment. What's trending now on Twitter? We're back with another Weird Law Wednesday. This time we're talking about Indiana. I figured since my college football team is playing on Saturday and they are from Indiana, we would talk about the weird laws from that state. And as always, the Wednesday Q&A. So first, let's talk about wrestling trivia. So obviously everybody knows, you watch the show long enough, I am the current NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion at, as of today, 914 days. I am 86 days away from 1,000. I'm hoping I hit it, but I don't want there to be any trap games along the way. May or may not happen. Also, I am the king of the marks for the Mark World Order. I have held that championship for almost a year, which is also crazy to think about because I've defended it twice since I've won it because I have to go through tournaments and the whole like. And that's been intense in and of itself. And then today, Talkamania Trivomania 5 was posted live to the public. We recorded it a couple weeks ago now. It was either shortly before or shortly, no, it's the week after SummerSlam. We recorded that. And it finally went live to the public today. Go check that out. Little bit of a spoiler. Your boy did it again. Cherry triple threat's a real thing. So now I'm looking to defend that championship next Friday, live on either Twitch or Sportscaster. I'm not sure which one they're going to do. But it's going to be very exciting. It's definitely going to be very exciting to not only defend that championship, but I'm also defending the Wrestling Trivia Challenge Championship next Friday. So I'm going to be busy with all the wrestling trivia in my mind next Friday. It's going to be intense. And I just hope I'm up to the challenge. That's really what I'm hoping for. I'm up to the challenge. So there's a reason why I bring up the Cherry for Quizlemania thing. Because this is something that cannot simply be my movement. This is something that has to be more than just one person wanting this. Because if I'm the only person that wants it, nobody else cares. But it's clear to me that people do care. Numerous people have tweeted out their support with the hashtag Cherry for Quizlemania to the Parts Fun Known Twitter account, the one who does Quizlemania, the Wrestle Talk guys. And I want to be the one to do it. I want to make that show at some point. It doesn't matter. As long as I am still champion, which is likely, let's be honest, I've been champion for almost 3 years at this point. We got to make it happen. Now, Quizlemania X8 airs today at 4 o'clock Eastern, so I'll be off the air for a couple hours. They like to read super chats, and I don't want anybody to feel obligated to do that. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to like fork money out of their pockets just to get me heard. If you do, I appreciate it greatly. Don't get me wrong. If I had the funds to do so again, then I would. But they read out super chats that are $5 and over. So if you happen to watch Quizlemania today and you feel obligated to super chat them so that they see your comment, put in the hashtag Cherry for Quizlemania, because it's going to be more than just me. We are going to make this happen. Sean Ross Sapp is a great champion. But let's be honest. The greatest wrestling trivia mind ever, and I wore the shirt specifically for today. The greatest wrestling trivia mind ever is better. And you know, I was introduced to combat wrestling trivia also in the last week or so. And our fellow No DQ person, Chris Cass, decided to enter the fray, and he represented No DQ very well. He was in a fatal four-way, and he was the winner. And Chris Cass has always been one of the preeminent wrestling trivia minds. So I'm very happy for him. I'm very happy for his success. And now I got invited to do the same. And I think it's going to be one of those things for yours truly and Chris Cass to team up, which if anybody has watched Wrestling Trivia Challenge over the years, you know that's damn near an unbeatable combination. Chris and I took each other to the limit on my first defense of this 900 plus day reign. So I know how damn good Chris Cass is. So he's going to be a formidable foe in combat wrestling trivia, as am I. And No DQ is going to run the whole thing like we do with all wrestling trivia. We're just going to run the show. And that's not cockiness. We just know how good we are. Cleaver Colin Andrew is putting in the link for Trivia Mania 5. If you have Apple Podcasts or really wherever you get your podcasts, search Talkamania. Trivia Mania 5 was put out today. It's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours listen, but it's good. It's entertaining the whole way through. You get to see a little bit more of my personality than you would on even this show. And it's, let's be honest, it's going to be fun. It's fun doing all these wrestling trivia things. People think it's like, oh man, how do you know all this stuff? It's like, man, do you ever get laid? Yeah, I do. Been married for almost a decade. Yes, my wife knows what she got into. And it's just so fun. Colin says an hour 33 minutes right here in the hour 33 minutes long. I wasn't sure. I haven't actually listened to like the edited down version, but I know when we recorded it was about 2 hours, so must have been edited down to an hour and 33. Either way, it's going to be a good time. So I encourage all of you guys to watch Quizlemania X8 today. If you don't subscribe to the Parts Fun Known YouTube account, go do that. And again, if you feel inclined to super chat $5 to say Cherry needs to be on Quizlemania, I encourage you guys to go do it, because one way or another, even if we annoy them to death where it's like they don't want anything to do with me, but they feel like they have to, hey, a win's a win no matter how you get it. I don't care how I got to do it. I just need to get on. JB3, who's actually the runner of the league at the Combat Wrestling Trivia, says, I agree. I have fun competing. However, running a league has been amazing. It's a great idea. It really is. I know that with Wrestling Trivia Challenge, it's just challengers stepping up to the plate and competing for the title. Now, I've also stated on numerous occasions that should I hit my 1,000 days as champion, we're going to hold another 16-man tournament. So if you feel like you want to be considered for that, which will probably start early next year, because my 1,000th day as champion will be December 4th, and we won't really want to record anything during Christmas. So once the new year hits, we'll get right back into it. It's just a lot of fun. Wrestling trivia is so much fun for me. And yes, competing and putting that stress on me is like how can you deal with defending so many championships? Because let me tell you, it's a lot easier to win a championship than it is to hold on to it. And holding on to this championship as long as I have, sure, there have been weeks where I've just breezed through. But there are other weeks where I don't know if I'm lasting the entire match still as champion. I'll tell you what, these last 86 days before my 1,000 are going to produce some great matches. I can guarantee you that. But again, Quizzlemania is tonight. Super chat them. Cherry for Quizzlemania. Let's get this movement going. Let's get me to Quizzlemania 19. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I believe it. All right, now, off the wrestling trivia for a little bit, let's talk about what is trending now on Twitter. Obviously, for those of you who have not seen this segment, this is the segment where we find out what's trending on Twitter, and we discuss it. So, got my trusty phone here. Let us find out. I appreciate Colin, the support for Triviamania. What's trending right now in the U.S.? Don't care about politics. Rick Moranis is trending on Twitter, as he should, because he appeared in a commercial with Ryan Reynolds to launch a $30 a month unlimited plan for Mint. And Rick Moranis, he still looks good. I mean, he hasn't acted in many, many years since, like, how much money did he make off the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or those movies? Also Ghostbusters. I mean, obviously he was in Ghostbusters too, or the original Ghostbusters. But it was just good to see him on the screen. And he still looks good. I mean, he's taken time. I think he's directed movies or something. But he actually did a small commercial. It wasn't a whole lot. It was like a minute long. But it was still just good to see him on screen. Still being the guy we remember him being. Daryl is trending right now. AMC announces a plan to end The Walking Dead and plans for 2 new spin-offs, including one with Daryl and Carol, and another that could bring characters back from the grave. So the Walking Dead series has obviously been very popular for years. I've never been one to watch it. It's just not my style of show that I like to watch. But it is very popular, and it's incredible how many spin-offs the show has got. I mean, Fear the Walking Dead was another one. AMC is just killing it, and why not have spin-offs? Spin-offs are very tricky, though, because it's very hard for them to succeed in the way that the original show did. I mean, one of the most successful spin-offs of all time was Frasier, which obviously was a spin-off of Cheers. And it was a spinoff that lasted 11 seasons. A very entertaining show. If you haven't seen it, Frasier is such a great show. I'm not sure where it's streaming. It might be on Peacock, like the new one that came out from NBC. If it is, I think Jen and I need to go back and watch Frasier because it was such a good show. Such a good show, an entertaining show. Tried watching Cheers, but it's kind of hard to get into a show that's, in Boston. No. I mean, Cheers, obviously one of the best shows of all time. Pink Floyd is trending. It's involved in a movie trailer for the movie Dune, which I believe Dune was trending also. Or The Dune. Why is The Dune? It's just Dune. It's like when Maria said The Edge. Xbox is trending right now. Microsoft reveals that Xbox Series S specs promises 4 times the processing power of Xbox One. That is a heck of a lot because, I mean, the Xbox One, I have an Xbox One, is a very impressive system in and of itself. So if this one is 4 times as powerful, it's going to be a great gaming console. And it's fine because we use our Xbox more for like an entertainment center than we do for actual gaming. I have Xbox games, but it's for me more of an entertainment hub. We watch clips off YouTube, we watch Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, WWE Network. We watch so much stuff on the Xbox One. It's such a convenient tool to have. Can't tell you how many times I wish they would come out with like rechargeable controllers or something. Somebody needs to let me know if they have like rechargeable Xbox controllers so that we don't have to waste money on batteries all the time. We can just plug them in at night and they'll be good to go. But yeah, the Xbox Series S, when is that coming out? Is that coming out arrive on November 10th, so like shortly after my birthday. Only $300. Huh. Interesting. That's surprising, actually. It's only $300 for the new console. I may know what I want for Christmas. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Jalen Ramsey, cornerback for the Rams, signed a $105 million deal over 5 years. That is insane confidence in your defense. And it makes him the highest paid cornerback in the history of the NFL. It doesn't seem like it's hard to do, like especially with inflation and all that stuff. It doesn't seem hard to do for somebody to be the highest paid whatever in the NFL because it seems to happen every year. But Jalen Ramsey is the latest to be added to that, getting $21 million a season. Whew. Tell you what, you pay me $21 million for one season, I'll put in as much work as you want me to. And then I can just retire after one season. $21 million, man, that would last Jen and I the rest of our lives. $21 million. Whew. I'd like to get that paycheck. Somebody sign me up for that job. Where's that job? That's what I want. I know I'm 33, but hey, sign me for a season. $21 million. CBS Sports division champ is trending. NFL fans look to a word search puzzle to gauge how the 2020 season will go for their favorite team. So let's see how it does for the Steelers. Here we go. Let me see. Super Bowl was the first thing I saw. Cool. So Steelers going to the Super Bowl according to that word search. I'm okay with that. I don't know who they would possibly play. Who would I want to see? I would like to see an all Pennsylvania Super Bowl. I would like to see a Steelers Eagles Super Bowl at one point. We almost got it about 15 years ago when it was the Eagles and the Patriots because the Patriots beat the Steelers in the AFC Championship. I was so hoping for an all PA Super Bowl. Did not happen. Major League Baseball is celebrating the legacy of Roberto Clemente. That's pretty cool. Clemente, of course, a widely popular Pittsburgh Pirate. So hopefully they're celebrating very well today. How is the number 21 not retired for Roberto Clemente? It's crazy. I guess everybody for the Pirates is wearing number 21 today in support of Roberto Clemente. That's pretty cool. EA Play is trending also. I like the fact that it's not all politics. That makes me happy. Xbox Game Pass says important news. You should stop scrolling and read it. Starting later this year, EA Play will be included with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and Xbox Game Pass PC. So I wonder if that means you get to play some EA games for free. That's pretty cool. Wonder if that means there will be some Madden available. And a little bit of sad news. Ryan Shazier officially retired from football today. If you don't remember Ryan Shazier, formerly from Ohio State, and he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He suffered a very heartbreaking injury against the Bengals, and he almost damn near paralyzed himself doing it. It was such a heart-wrenching moment, and it's so glad to see that he's able to walk today. But he officially retired from football, so we will not be seeing him back on the field, which is probably the best for his health. It just sucks knowing how damn good a player he was. So, best of luck to Ryan Shazier and whatever he does. Hopefully, I would like to see him as a defensive coach for Pittsburgh, but we'll see what happens because he's got that mindset still. All ACC programs agreed earlier today to have every single Division I team in the 2021 NCAA tournament. Which means that every team in the NCAA would make the tournament. That is insane to think about. But you would also have to bring in some Division II schools to be fed to them. Because if you have, it says 346 teams, to have a sustained bracket, you need like a power of 2. So 64 is 2 to the 6th power. So you need 2 to the 9th, which would be 512. So you would need 512 teams for a full-blown tournament, unless, of course, you had a whole bunch of qualifiers, which I have no idea how they would go. But I guess it's 68 teams because you have to have the play-in game for the 16th seed. So I guess they could probably figure it out. So 256, you have 90 teams. So you probably have 180 teams doing qualifying to get into the whatever seed that would be. Boy, that sounds complicated. Whew. That sounds really complicated. But anyway, that's what's trending now. I was happy to do that for quite a bit there. It's good when when what's trending now isn't full of politics, because that was a good one. That was a good segment. So let's go on to our next segment. It's time for Weird Law Wednesday, everybody. We're talking about the weird laws of the state of Indiana. No, not Indiana, Pennsylvania. That's the town that's pretty close to me, but not talking about that. We're talking about the state of Indiana. And we've got some weird ones. I glanced over these earlier, and they're just so weird. Okay, so here's one. Hotel sheets must be exactly 99 inches long and 81 inches wide. So if you have a hotel sheet that's 100 inches long, do you get fined? Like, why is that a law? And hotels have so many sheets that they have to take care of in all of their rooms. How are you going to, like, what happens if they shrink in the wash? Do you have to like buy new ones? What is that? I just read the next one, which I completely missed when I was reviewing these, but I'm so confused. If any person has a puppet show, wire dancing, or tumbling act in the state of Indiana and receives money for it, they will be fined $3 under the Act to Prevent Certain Immoral Practices. So, a puppet show, wire dancing, or tumbling is considered an immoral practice? Is that some kind of like weird fetish that nobody talks about? I've never heard that. It may exist somewhere. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but what? Well, I guess as much as I would like to live in Indiana to travel to South Bend for Notre Dame games, I might not be able to with this law. A $3 fine per pack will be imposed on anyone playing cards in Indiana under the Act for the Prevention of Gaming. You better you better lighten up there, because card playing, first of all, really shouldn't be illegal. I mean, I've heard of illegal underground gambling rings, but like if somebody's just playing like canasta or something, you got to ruin somebody's life over that. I mean, it's $3 fine per pack, so it's like it's $9 for a game of canasta. But even still, like that's so dumb. There's some really dumb laws in Indiana. It is illegal for a man to be sexually aroused in public. Can you control that really? Like obviously strip clubs, like that's in public. So that's I'm guessing that means strip clubs are illegal in Indiana. But like if you're walking along and you happen to like if a guy sees a beautiful woman walking by and he gets aroused, like you can't control like who walks on the streets, who walks past you or anything like that. That's I mean, unless it's like now if it's like blatant, like if it's obvious that it's like he's like a pervert or something, okay, maybe I see your point. Um, JB3 says, imagine getting pulled over. Sir, do you have any illegal weapons, drugs, or playing cards? For me, it'd be no to the first two. For the third one, I'd probably be in trouble. This one, okay, I'm going to preface this one with saying, if you think about it, it makes sense, but it's still really stupid. Baths may not be taken between the months of October and March. Now think about that for a second. I'm sure like showers are okay, but like full-blown baths. It makes sense to me, this one, because it gets cold in Indiana, obviously. So between October and March, I'm guessing they have like issues with their pipes or something containing that much water for them getting frozen in pipes. So maybe that one it's okay. It's still weird though. Like what if you're taking like a hot bath? Like you're fine. if it goes down, like the pipes aren't going to be frozen that much. Still weird. Okay. I don't get this one. A man over the age of 18 may be arrested for statutory rape. Listen to this. If the passenger in his car is not wearing socks and shoes and is under the age of 17. So you can be arrested for statutory rape if you are driving in a car with an underage passenger who is not wearing socks and shoes. So do not ride around in Indiana with bare feet with your son or daughter if they're not wearing their socks and shoes. I mean, first of all, if you're riding around with somebody under the age of 17 in your passenger seat in general and they're not related to you, that's kind of weird. But you shouldn't be arrested for statutory rape if they're barefoot. Some very, very weird laws. These two are back to back, and apparently it's to prevent competition. Liquor stores may not sell milk, and grocery stores may not sell any type of cold liquor. I feel like that was a joint decision. Also, right above it, it is legal for a liquor store to sell cold soft drinks. Why? Then again, I guess I never go into my liquor store and be like, hey, can I have a Pepsi? And of course, I'm very rarely in liquor stores anyway, so that one wouldn't affect me so much. Huh. This one is interesting. And maybe I'll have a family in Indiana if this is the case. You can get out of paying for a dependent's medical care by praying for him or her. So if I work and my wife is a dependent and she has to like undergo some kind of, I get my bill, be like, no, it's okay. I prayed for her. I mean, I believe in God anyway, so I believe God can heal anyway. But that would also save me money. Pays to be a Christian, I guess. Yikes. On the other end of that, check forgery can be punished with public flogging up to 100 stripes. Hot damn. So make sure you're signing your own checks in Indiana. Otherwise, you will be flogged. This one makes me laugh. Men are prohibited from standing in a bar. So do they just crab walk the entire way through the bar? It's like, oh, we're in a bar. We can't stand. I'm gonna walk like this. I'm not standing because we're not allowed. And then you crawl up into the seat and be like, hey, how you doing? Did you see that crab walk I did? Like what? Maybe I'm taking this to the extreme, but doesn't it seem kind of stupid that they're not allowed to stand in a bar? It's like, well, what if they're in line to like pay their tab off or something? It's like they're going to be standing. And this is stupid. Drinks on the house are illegal. I mean, isn't that your right as like a business owner? Like, if you want to provide to somebody, it'd be like, oh, it's on the house. I'm taking care for it. Why is that an issue? That makes no sense. All males 18 to 50 years old must work 6 days a year on public roads. So any male from 18 to 50 is basically working for the Department of Transportation for free? Like, how does that work? That seems like something you would have to be paid for, or as community service or something. I don't. Okay. Mustaches are illegal if the bearer has a tendency to habitually kiss other humans. So if you have the tendency to be Richard Dawson from the original Family Feud, you can't have a mustache. Indiana, you got some weird ass laws. All right. Just a couple of city specific laws, and then we'll get on to the Q&A. Since we're talking about Notre Dame, I might as well do the one that's in South Bend. In South Bend, Indiana, it is illegal to make a monkey, rather. Try that again. In South Bend, Indiana, it is illegal to make a monkey smoke a cigarette. How often did that happen for it to become an issue in South Bend? Were there just a bunch of students from Notre Dame making monkeys smoke cigarettes? Get them to play the Victory March or something. Don't make them smoke cigarettes. Jeez, oh man. This seems dangerous and stupid. In Evansville, Indiana, while driving on Main Street, you may not have your lights on. So is nobody allowed to drive on Main Street in Evansville, Indiana during the night? Because how can you not have your lights on? That is dangerous beyond belief. And finally, in Warsaw, Indiana, no one may throw an old computer across the street at their neighbor. It's a good thing I don't live in Warsaw because I've been tempted to do that to a neighbor at least once. So that is the Weird Law Wednesday for the state of Indiana. We will be back again next week for more weird laws from a different state in the good old US of A. Eventually we'll get to some international laws, probably once we're done with the state ones. But now it's time for Wednesday Q&A. And I, of course, you can ask any question you want. But as always, don't forget the hashtag Cherry for Quizlemania. So let's see what questions were asked. I know we had a few. Mike Gonzalez is asking, where do the Rams keep finding all this cap space? That's a good question. That's a good question. I didn't think the Rams had that much of a cash flow, but I mean, dropping $105 million, even the $21 million a year on Jalen Ramsey is insane. But hey, if he is that much of a value, if he is that important to your defense, pay him as much as you need to. I mean, the Rams were in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, And they had a great defensive game, but I think the Rams' biggest problem is on the offense. You only scored 3 points in the freaking Super Bowl. Kind of embarrassing. All right, this one is from Rupak. You pronounce my name as Rupak. During Lesnar's first run in WWE, he was WWE champion on SmackDown. Do you think if he feuded with Triple H on Raw, would it have worked for the World Heavyweight Championship? Well, at the time, Lesnar and Triple H were both heels when Triple H was awarded the championship. And also, Lesnar was specifically on SmackDown while he was WWE champion. In fact, he was on SmackDown from that point on until he left the company. He was never officially a Raw superstar except for the first couple months of his first run. He also said, was it too early in Lesnar's career because he was only 25 when he defeated The Rock at SummerSlam 02? It was definitely not early in his career because I think that of everybody who has debuted in WWE, that his run went exactly the way it should have, because I don't think him and Triple H were a good match at that point, simply because, again, Triple H had just come off the feud with Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. Not that the feud was over by any stretch of the imagination, but he had just come off of being the biggest heel in the company by attacking Shawn Michaels after HBK beat him. And Triple H versus Lesnar did not make sense at the time. Even after Brock Lesnar turned babyface on SmackDown later that year, I don't think it would have made much sense for the two of them to face each other in that initial run. As big of a star as Brock did become, as big of a star as Triple H is, it would not have made sense during that time. Would it have been cool to see? Yeah, but I don't think we would have appreciated it as much as we did when we got the series of matches that they had later on in 2012 and 13. All right, what other questions do we have? And guys, don't forget, take it off the screen. Don't forget to send in your questions. Again, we're talking about Quizlemania X8 tonight on Quizlemania. If you're going to super chat to them, super chat $5 and tell them you want Greg Cherry for Quizlemania. Watch it tonight. It starts at 4 o'clock Eastern. You can super chat at any time during the show. Get in there, flood them with Cherry for Quizlemania. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. As the worm turns, ask the question, did All Out ruin AEW for you? It kind of ruined AEW for me because I'm not that excited for Dynamite. I don't think so. All Out wasn't... All Out, I thought, was a good show. It was not the best AEW pay-per-view from what I've seen. There were a couple big mistakes during the course of the show. The Matt Hardy bump, which I think turned a lot of people off because it was still handled poorly, let's be honest. And Matt Seidel's debut, which definitely could have gone better, but he's taken it in stride. He made a joke about it on Twitter. Good for him. Good for him taking stride of that. All Out was okay. I feel like they're building towards their next event. And we'll see what happens. I like the fact that they're doing quarterly pay-per-views as opposed to every month, because you don't want to oversaturate. You want those pay-per-views to feel like big events. Leave it to 4. If you feel like you're getting a little more successful, maybe make it every other month, but don't overdo it. Big Bowler G, I forgot to ask you what you think the Steelers record will be. My birthday's November 5th, so I'm going 11-5. And they won the Super Bowl with that record before, so I'm going to go 11-5, just as like a conservative guess. I think the Steelers have a good chance to make the playoffs this year. And it's just going to come down to them performing. I think having Roethlisberger back is going to be a big help to the offense. The defense, as long as they get their crap together, they're going to be fine because Minkah Fitzpatrick is still solid. So as long as they continually build the defense and the defensive line, they're going to get Stephon Tuitt back. You figure there's going to be so many pieces added to the puzzle that they didn't have, and they still almost made the playoffs last year. Guys, the Steelers, as duct tape as they were, almost made the playoffs last year. So you bring back all the heavy hitters, there's no doubt in my mind they're making the playoffs. And Jesus, imagine if we had J.J. Watt. Yeah, we got 2 Watts. If we had the third one, telling you what. I'm interested to see what Derek does. I'm very interested. I hope he brings some a more solid piece to the running game because I think they need it. Hashtag Cherry for Quizlemania. How many more times do you think I've got to perform edits on today's rewind before I commit a huge violation of Warsaw law? Hopefully not that many. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's not that much of a headache. That's why we recorded it yesterday. And my StreamYard decided to crap out near the end of the show, so hopefully it's not too big of a deal. But you may just have to edit in something to be like, hey, this is what we talked about, blah, 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 just to avoid that copyright thing or whatever. Yeah, I've told you before, stop doing audio or video for the purposes of the show. It's like they're watching along with us. They can see it too. It doesn't need to be on the actual show. Oh, it is published, so that's good. JB3 says, can you give your opinion on Lance Archer versus Mox and the differences that will be shown between New Japan and AEW? Archer versus Mox should be an intense match. It's weird to see, and you kind of love to see it, that the man formerly known as Dallas and Lance Hoyt in TNA is getting this monster push in AEW. It's good to see because he's been around for a long time. I don't think people realize how long he's been around. But Lance Archer getting his shot against Mox, it's going to be a hard-hitting one. I don't know if they're going to make it like a no disqualification match or what they're going to do because Archer's not going to need moves banned like MJF did, even though that kind of backfired on him, didn't it? It's going to be a fun match. As far as the difference between New Japan and AEW, New Japan tends to do a lot more like no disqualification styles. I don't think AEW has disqualifications either, which makes you wonder, why don't they bring in chairs to every match? I guess you don't want to kill the gimmick of the no DQ matches. But there's that. I'm looking forward to it. I think Archer and Mox is going to be a good feud. They might throw MJF in there just because he'll complain that he got cheated, and then perhaps MJF wins the title in a triple threat. I mean, MJF does kind of have a case. Moxley did cheat to beat him behind the referee's back. So we'll see if that happens. And of course, hashtag Cherry for Quizlemania. So if there are no other questions, follow me on all social media at Greg Cherrybrand. The links are in the description. You can go there. Don't forget, tonight, Quizlemania X8 in about 2 hours' time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Send them a super chat, $5 super chat, telling them Greg Cherry should be on Quizlemania, the greatest wrestling trivia mind ever, the 900-plus day NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. You might not have that much room to write it all, but at least get the point across. Let's make it happen, people. If I can't make it happen by myself, I need you guys to help me. This is going to happen. In 2 weeks' time, I wanted to be preparing telling you guys that Greg Cherry is going to be on Quizzlemania on September 23rd. I want to tell you that. But we got to make it happen. Tell everybody. Tell everybody you know to watch Quizzlemania X8 tonight. As Adam Plampier shaves his own head and eyebrows and facial hair while he's hosting the show. It's going to be entertaining for that, but you best believe we're going to annoy the crap out of Ollie Davis by telling him that Greg Cherry should be on Quizzlemania. It's driving him nuts, I'm sure. But guess what? I don't really care. I don't care. So let's make it happen. Tonight, I want to see all those Cherry for Quizzlemania super chats on Quizzlemania X8 tonight. Cherry for Quizzlemania. I want them to get the hint. If they haven't got it already, give them the hint. We all want to see it. Let's make it happen tonight. And I am, of course, the host of the Greg Cherry Show, Michael Philbin. Let's make it happen. It's going to happen tonight for Cherry Triple Threat. Cherry for Quizzlemania. I'm going to do this until I actually make the show. But I'm going to tell you one thing. We're going to make it happen. And you know what? I got a couple minutes left in the show. Jeff, do you want to come on?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
You know, why not bring you on the show, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, what the hell. So I want so bad for this to go. I look like this tree looks like shit. I apologize. Hang on a second.
Jeff, we don't care about your background.
I care.
Okay, well.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I want so bad for you to get on Quizzlemania because I know, and I've known for 2.5 years now that you are, as your shirt says, the greatest. Wow. I need to wake the hell up. Clearly, the greatest wrestling trivia mind ever. I mean, by and large, there is no competition at this point. You have taken everybody out in your wake. You know, there was this, you had a long layoff. No, nobody would just step up and have some balls. That's what that was. Mm. So it's as simple as that. And the fact of the matter is, not only do you know your wrestling trivia stuff, I think you and I are arguably the hardest working men in YouTube wrestling and content right now. There's constant, we're doing something every day. And if we're not doing something every day, we're wondering how we can.
Exactly.
And it's frustrating as a spectator of your shows. And of course I'm sitting here in the producer's room now, but to not have Quizzlemania just go, okay, let's see what you got. Like, are they scared? Is he just that much of a chicken? Or I'm curious.
I mean, that's very possible. And I call them out too.
Right.
And you know, I've tweeted at them a few times, and Aaron keeps telling me, "Oh, I don't think they want you." Aaron, you don't realize the genes that I have, how freaking stubborn I am. If I want this to happen, you damn well better believe I'm going to make it happen. I mean, I am the NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. I'm the Mark World Order King of the Marks. I am the new Trivomania champion for Talkamania. 3 championships over. And it's not like I'm only defending one at a time. I'm defending all these sumbitches at the same time. And I'm still holding on to them. So it's not complacency. It's not anything like that. It's, you guys got to give me a chance.
Right. And, you know, people have been sitting here, you know, I remember the conversation verbatim last Friday or whatever it was, you know, Jeff, geez, why are we lobbing these guys up for Greg? It's like, I'm not lobbing these guys up on purpose. We're vetting these guys. They seem to know their stuff. It's just Greg comes on there and pulls a Keith Lee and whoops that ass. I can't help that.
Big G. If Greg gets on Quizzlemania, I will donate $100 to the Greg Cherry brand.
Boom.
So
there you go.
I get $100 if I get on Quizlemania. And not only that, I also said David Diaz would get another shot at the title if I get on Quizlemania before the 1,000 days. I told him that, and if that happens and he beats me, so what? I get on Quizlemania and I have a near 1,000 day rating. It's like I don't care at this point. It's like I want to be on Quizlemania that bad that I would risk my 1,000 days as champion because I know how good David Diaz is. I mean, I beat him 10-5 last time, but
Yes.
it's the fact of the matter that I would still have to defend against him again. So if I make Quizlemania 19 or 20 or 21 or whatever, and it's before the 1,000 days, fine. And I'll tell you what, if I make Quizlemania on day like 2 days before my 1,000 days, we'll extend the season for one more week and give them a shot on day 1,007.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm almost excited. I gotta admit it because I had these grandiose plans and now they just got blown to shit. So, okay.
Well, I mean, I would hit, if it happens on day 1,007, I would hit the 1,000 days. So
right. But yeah. Well, at the end of the day, we have to remember one thing, Greg, and that's the most important thing I'm seeing in the chat room today is that Big Baller G's noticing the beard's coming back. Oh yeah, that's right. No.
I mean, I shaved mine. You guys saw my first couple episodes. I had full-on quarantine beard.
Yes.
And I think I lost like 5 pounds shaving the thing off.
Dude, I remember distinctly because the video is still up in real time. We didn't edit a thing. When JJ and I shaved our LA Kings playoff beards from 2012. The two of us together, it took like 45 minutes.
I believe it. I mean, it took the same for me, and I didn't even razor afterwards. Was just like trim it all. I'm not even worried about the razor right now.
Right. Well, see, for me, I mean, I had that ridiculous, the rule was with the NHL that you could trim between rounds. I'm like, no, that's not pure. That's not how it works. So for 3 months, I didn't touch my face except to watch it. So I'm talking scissors. I'm talking electric razors. I freaking took a straight edge Bic to it took forever. It was crazy. And this, what we have here, I don't remember what show it was. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but a few shows ago, I put up the blooper reel from Talk Wrestling that Aaron has posted for many years, the Talk Wrestling Botchamania that everybody loves. And the majority of those clips in that little snippet video is me with the goatee.
Yeah.
And people were popping for it, like, man, bring the goatee back. And then I had a lady I'm rather fond of also agree with that assessment of bringing the goatee back. So I said, you know what? Screw it. This here is just me waking up like an hour ago and going, I don't want to deal with this shit yet. But, for tomorrow, when I do a massive marathon session with JJ recording dads, God help me, nice and trim, nice and pretty. But the beard thing, I'll tell you, it's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, I think we ran a little bit over today, but it's okay.
Oops.
Not a problem. Just remember, tonight, 4:00 Eastern, on the Parts Fun Known, yes, not Parts Unknown, Parts Fun Known channel, Quizlemania X8. You can search Quizlemania on YouTube. You will find it.
How long is the show generally?
The show will overlap with Rewind, but as long as you get your super chats in early, they'll read it on the show throughout the course. It's got to be $5 or more. What's up, Adrian? How you doing? You're just getting right in the tail end of this, but we're talking about bombarding Quizlemania with the hashtag Cherry for Quizlemania. We're going to make it happen one way or the other. I'm going to be on the show.
That's it, brother.
So, for Jeff Meacham, my producer, I am, of course, your host with the most, Michael Philbin, telling you, hashtag Cherry for Quizlemania, and we will see you Friday for another episode of The Greg Cherry Show.